Robert Pickton was never the kind of man anyone took seriously. He was filthy, socially awkward, soft-spoken, and lived on a run-down pig farm in Port Coquitlam, British Columbia. To most people, he was just a weird, harmless farmer who smelled like animals and kept to himself. But beneath that neglected property was one of the most disturbing crime scenes in Canadian history. For years, women were disappearing from Vancouver's Downtown Eastside, a neighbourhood already ignored, written off, and treated as disposable. Many of the missing were sex workers struggling with addiction or homelessness, and their disappearances barely made headlines. Pickton knew this. He exploited it. He would drive into the city, gain the trust of vulnerable women, and invite them back to his farm under the promise of drugs, money, or a place to stay. Once there, they were never seen again. Inside his trailer, Pickton murdered them, often by strangulation, sometimes after sexual assault, and then dismembered their bodies. What he did next is what cemented his infamy. He fed parts of his victims to his pigs, while other remains were disposed of on the property, burned, buried, or discarded in ways that made identification nearly impossible. The farm itself was a nightmare, cluttered, filthy, and sprawling, filled with rusted machinery, animal pens, and hidden areas where evidence could rot unnoticed. Despite repeated tips, police visits, and complaints from neighbours, Pickton continued killing. Law enforcement failed again and again, dismissing witnesses, underestimating the scale of the crimes, and ignoring the pattern of disappearances. At one point, Pickton was arrested on weapons charges, but released, giving him even more time to kill. It wasn't until 2002, after a botched arrest involving an attempted murder victim who escaped the farm, that police finally searched the property thoroughly. What they found was horrifying. DNA evidence linking Pickton to dozens of missing women, personal belongings scattered across the land, and biological material mixed into barrels and soil. During interrogation, Pickton made chilling offhand remarks, including that he had wanted to kill 50 women, but only got 49. At trial, the full scope of his crimes became clear. A man who preyed on society's most vulnerable, confident that no one would care enough to stop him. He was convicted of 6 counts of second-degree murder in 2007 and sentenced to life in prison, though authorities believe the true number of his victims may be far higher. Robert Pickton's story is not just about a serial killer, it's about neglect, indifference, and how evil thrives when people are treated as expendable. While he rotted quietly on his pig farm, an entire community was disappearing and no one was listening.